What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire video. Today I'm covering the second trailer we got revealed for Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which came out just a day or two after E3. Sorry it's taken me so long to cover it, I've been really busy with other things, exams and such, but we're finally getting down to analysing the trailer. Unlike my first trailer analysis, there's going to be no footage in this video, because Nintendo thought they would claim my last one, which was very fun, so we're just going to be using screenshots here rather than live footage, which I apologise for, but it's got to be done, guys. It's got to be done because I don't want Nintendo being swats again. Anyway, so let's just jump on with this analysis. Going to be going through the video step by step, looking at each image that's very interesting. First off, we have this image here of Groudon on a boat, and it's a slightly different angle to the one we saw in the first trailer, and we can see here he's actually pulling away from a wharf, which has a shack next to it on a beach, so we can assume this is the beach near Petalburg City. That's going to be Mr. Briney's shack, rather than a house now, he's downgraded, but we can see there, when I did my map analysis I wasn't sure if Mr. Briney's house was there, but obviously because it's a shack now it's not as easy to see. You can see Petalburg Forest just behind you as well, so that's sort of what I wanted to pick up on there. Mr. Briney's house is there. This is the sort of the section we are covering here. Next, we have this screenshot here we saw in the I don't think it was in the trailer, it was a screenshot just released to the public, and it was of obviously Brian and May looking at the birds, Beautifly here, and then the actual trailer, they turn to the left to watch them fly across, and then they don't actually get quite to Petalburg City, but in other screenshots we do see them go to Petalburg City, which is where they're stood next to here. So we can see here the Pokemart. It's most likely the Pokemart. It could also be a clothing building. I still need to sort of do a speculation video on that, see what I think, because they might end up putting the Pokemart in the Pokemon Center again, and maybe making all the Pokemarts that were Pokemarts in Gen 3 the clothes shops or something like that. But I still need to make a video about customization and sort of analysing whether we're going to get that back in the game yet. Then we have a screenshot here of May on a bike in what I would expect to be Dewford Cave, because that's sort of other screenshots we got, which I'm going to be analysing in another video, show Stephen in what we can assume is Dewford Cave, and it looks very similar design to this, so we can assume this is what Dewford Cave is going to look like, and we can assume this slope here is going to be a slope you need a mark bike to get up, because of how it looks. It's not just a normal slope, and plus she's riding a blue bike. So obviously this is the sort of slope we're going to have to use the mark bike to get up. You won't be able to get it with the Alcra bike. You have to use the mark bike, which will be very interesting to see how that works. Next up we have this image here of Brandon on the Acro bike, which we can obviously see used because he's hopped over some ledges there. You can see in the distance a TM on the ground, so we can assume TMs are going to be in the same format as they have been for Gen 5 and for Gen 6, being yellow in colouring, and obviously being just pick up items rather than other items. In the second sort of frame of this, we can see just before it cuts to the next section, we can see on the far left we have berries in the games. You can see two berry trees there. One is probably cherry, I don't know, I'm trying to make stuff up here. One's probably aspis, something like that, but we can see berries are indeed returning like they were in Gen 3, which I do quite like, because I like the fact how I liked how they were set up in Gen 3. It was very nice, so I'm excited for that. But we have confirmed the berries are now returning, which is very nice. Then in the next screenshot here, we have a screenshot of May and Brian, and again, we can assume this is the top of Route 102, where they have their first battle, and May sort of just punched her fist out, so we can assume this is the start of the battle, start of the first rival battle, etc. She's obviously just here looking at Pokemon that are available on the route. Not much else to say about this screenshot, just the fact that it's sort of it's there. That's really the general gist of it. Then we have three screenshots here of the starter selection screen. Thought I'd show them to you just to show how the screen actually sort of changes the angles and stuff. We have the first one showing Treecko obviously, then it sort of goes to the centre with Torchic, and then goes to the right hand side with Mudkip, and they each come out at their own timing, just to sort of look at the camera, and the camera turns. I really like that. I don't quite know why. It's obviously the top screen. On the bottom screen we have the bag. I think that's one of the screenshots I'm going to be looking at in the next video. So, but obviously, as you can see there, that's what we got, the starter selection. Next up, we have a screenshot here of Mega Evolution. We've had Mega Evolution before, but we haven't seen the whole sequence. This is the first time we got to see the whole sequence. I've left out the bit where they actually used to activate that Mega Bangle, because what's the point, really? It's not much point. So you can see Septile here starting its Mega Evolution off. You can see that this is slight different. There's a slight difference to X and Y's Mega Evolution. This section, this frame, it's got some new shading on Septile as it Mega Evolves. You can see that it's slightly different. It doesn't have an outline. It's shaded as the sort of the light surrounds it and sort of glows over, I guess it's saying. The second screenshot then shows the sort of the glowing ball as it Mega Evolves. Slightly different to X and Y's ball, I think. So how it looked, I guess. This one's a bright whites, whereas I think X and Y's had sort of some texture on it. I'm not quite sure though, so don't hold me to that. Then we see on the next one, it sort of breaks apart as it did for X and Y, but it seems a lot cleaner in my opinion here. And obviously we got some new purple lines around the outside, or adjusted lines, so it's not exactly the same sequence as X and Y, but it has got some changes somewhere. Then finally we have Mega Septile coming out of its Mega Evolution here. As we know, Septile turns its back to the, sort of the camera, the main field, for whatever reason, because obviously, as we'll see in a minute, its tail is its main weapon. But the thing we want to look at here is above it, the Mega Evolution symbol has now changed slightly. In X and Y, it was it had the gaps, it was more rugged, but this one seems to be nice and clean. You got a nice, smooth, curved one with like colours up and down, some green, some yellow, some purple, whatever. So rather than being cut up and jagged like X and Y's was, this is actually quite clean and quite new, which I like. You know, it's a new style for a new game, I guess. So as I said just then, Septile's tail is its main weapon. As you can see here, the first shot, this is Septile in battle, just about to use an attack. Then just before it uses the attack, in this second screenshot here, you can see the two bulbs, I'm going to call them, at the base of its tail, next to its tail, swell up. And you can see in this last one, Septile's tail gets shot off towards the opponent, and its tail is its main weapon. And this makes a lot of sense, because Septile is a lizard, and lizards can lose their tails and grow back very quickly to sort of escape from danger, because obviously lizards' tails are probably the easiest thing to grab a hold of if you were chasing them, I guess. So obviously if they get caught on the tail, they can just sort of lose the tail and run away, I guess. And obviously they can regain it very quickly, so it makes sense for Septile to have that there, really. Obviously its balls swelling up is something you guys want to think about yourself, but I'm nothing to say on that. Next up, I thought I haven't done this with Treecko or Mudkip or anything, but I thought I'd pick it out just because it looked a bit weird to me. This is a shot of Torchic using the flame, I think it's a flamethrower at least, and it looks very different to X and Y's flamethrower. This looks like a beam with some flames around it, whereas X and Y's flamethrower was sort of just breathing fire, whereas this one is a more focused beam, and you can see it being used on Treecko there. It looks like a more, it could also be Ember, but I'm pretty sure it's flamethrower, because Treecko in the trailer uses Energy Ball and Mudkip uses Hydro Pump, I'm pretty sure, so it's most likely flamethrower, but it looks slightly different. So obviously some of the moves in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire might be slightly adjusted to what they were in X and Y, which is interesting. We can see sort of how that pans out there. Next screenshot here is of Blaziken Mega evolving. I've only chosen to show you guys this because I think Blaziken's colouring has been slightly changed. I think the red colouring on its body has been made darker red, a brighter, more vivid red. But obviously, I can't really tell too much. But I thought I'd just show it, just to, again, some Pokemon might have some slight colouring changes. As I mentioned in previous videos, this game seems to be a lot more vibrant than X and Y, so again we might see some brighter colours and whatnot around. Next up, we have got some battle shots of Team Magma and Team Aqua Grunts battling, as I still need to analyse all the art of them all. I've got too much to do. But we can see here the battle screen, I guess, for them. Obviously Magma has a fiery background with the logo behind them, you can't see it very well, and Aqua has a watery background with the Aqua logo behind them, makes sense. Design wise, obviously again I'll look at them in another video really properly, but you can also see at the bottom the text box, which we saw for Roxanne in the first trailer with the raid space at the side. We can assume this box is going to be used for all the battles. At the moment we can't, at least. It might just be the special battles like Aqua, Magma, Gym Leaders, etc. But it also could be just for all trainers with the raised section at the side. Obviously we'll have to wait until we see a trainer battle to confirm that, but that's what it looks like it's going to be. So slightly different to what we've seen before. Then we got some screenshots of Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre here in battle. The first one, obviously it's divided in half, the screen is not together this time. But you can sort of what we've seen before, Groudon on a cave, Kyogre on the sea. But the second one, I just want to point out the fact that they've both got a glowing energy inside them. Groudon sort of just comes out everywhere. It's sort of less obvious that it's inside. It might just be a pattern, but Primal Kyogre has that. You can see on its shot, it's got a nice glowing orange section in the middle of it, which is interesting in my opinion. And it's sort of like an egg. You've got the yolk of an egg, and that's the only way I can describe it. Primal Kyogre is like an egg. You've got the egg white, and then inside you've got the yolk, and that's what seems to be shining through everything and glowing and whatnot. That's the only way I can describe it. Then we're going to look at Primal Groudon's signature move again, which we still have a name for, but I want to, obviously we've seen this first picture before. The thing I want to look at though is the second picture, which is slightly more than we've seen before, because we see Blaziken being attacked here, but behind Blaziken you can see, I guess, the main rock that's attacking it, and it seems to be a red ruby colour actually, this rock. You can see it's the largest rock there, so it seems to be, you know, sort of that. So this maybe makes me think that the names are going to be named, we're going to have Ruby and Sapphire in the name, so we might have Ruby Rocks and Sapphire Storm, or something to that effect, you know. I don't know, I can't think of names, I'm not very good at names, guys. Ruby Storm, stuff like that, Sapphire Storm, stuff, you guys get what I mean there. So, obviously, what do you guys think about that move? You know, do you think the Ruby Rock era is going to have some linking with the name, and obviously the fact that Groudon's signature, the mascot for Ruby and Omega Ruby, etc. Let me know down below for that. Then we got some screenshots here of Kyogre using its Primal Kyogre, the signature move here. You can see, we've always seen before, really. There's no obvious Sapphire here, but when it attacks Swampert here, you can see it just gives it a huge blue area, so that could be seen as a Sapphire, I guess. You know, but obviously, you know, it's not as obvious, I guess. That, you know, Groudon's one was the one that really made me think about the naming and stuff. So, now we're on to right at the end, because the trailer ends here and it shows the release date and whatnot, but then after that it goes, Mega Diancie discovered, and we get a short clip here of Dancey Mega Evolving. As I mentioned earlier, with the new shading on the Mega Evolution, on the Pokemon 4 Mega Evolves, you see the same thing with Diancie there. It's got no hard outlines, it's more of a shaded sort of Pokemon, I guess. I'm not quite sure exactly how to explain that. But then when it Mega Evolves, you see Mega Diancie here with the new Mega Evolution symbol, and the text at the bottom saying Mega Stone obtained in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. So the Mega Stone for Diancie is going to be gotten in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. We're not going to get it in X and Y or an event at all. It's going to be found in-game, we can assume, or at least it might be an event to the games, but I'd like to imagine it would be in-game. Which is interesting, because that means it's not in, like, the Mega Stone isn't in the same game as when it's introduced in. And then we get shown these two screens, one saying get Dancey for X and Y, distribution details coming soon. So obviously you have to get Dancey in X and Y, and then you can only Mega Evolve it once you get the Mega Stone from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, I'm going to make a proper video on this sort of speculation widget here, I guess. I don't think they're going to add what would it call it? Add support for the new Mega Evolutions in X and Y. I don't think they're going to do that, because it just doesn't seem right to me. I don't think they're going to do that. So I think you're not going to be able to evolve Dancey, you're not going to be able to Mega Evolve Dancey in X and Y. You're going to have to Mega Evolve it in only Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So it's not like you can just get the stone from someone and trade it over to X and Y. To get a Mega Dancey, you're going to have to buy the games, because you're going to have to, you know, have a game yourself, sort of thing. You're never going to be able to get Mega Dancey unless you buy a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which is a brilliant marketing technique for Pokemon, because it means obviously if people want to get Mega Dancey, but they have to buy both a copy of X or Y and a copy of Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So it really links the games together. It's a marketing technique. So obviously it's making people that want a Mega Diancie to get a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and again, if someone's going to get a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they might want to get X and Y too, just so they can get the Diancie via the event sort of thing, guys. So that ends the trailer analysis video, guys. Let me know what you think about what you saw down in the comment section below, particularly about, obviously I said, the moves for Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, and berries, and Mr. Briney's house maybe, and the new bike stuff. And also about Diancie. What do you think about the fact that you have to buy like both sets of games just to get Mega Diancie? Do you think that's fair, or do you think they should make it all in one game? Let me know down in the comment section below, guys. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.